Hello everyone and welcome back. In our previous tutorial, we had seen how to use the Arduino code and the command prompts to use the MQTT wildcards. We had seen the single level and multiple level wildcards. So in this tutorial, we are going to see how to use the ESp32 development board to publish the real-time sensor data to the MQTT using the MQTT topics. So for this tutorial, you are going to need a ESp32 development board. So I am using my own custom built ESp32 S3 based development board, but you can use any other ESp32 development board for this tutorial. Then we will need the DHT11 sensor to read the humidity and temperature data. Then we will need the male-to-male jumper wires to connect the DHT11 sensor to our development board and a breadboard if necessary. So here is a kind of a circuit diagram using the ESp32 S3 Dev Kit. So here the positive pin or the VCC pin of the sensor is connected to the 3.3 volt of my ESp32 board. Then the output pin or the data pin is connected to the pin number 10 of the ESp32 board, and the negative pin of the sensor is connected to the ground of the development board. So here is a kind of connection diagram I have made with my own development board. So the pin numbers are same. So now let's look at the actual circuit. So here you can see I have this ESp32 board, which is I have fastened on my breadboard using this rubber band. And here using this jumper wires, I am connecting it to the DHT11 sensor. So you can see here this orange pin is connected to the pin number 10, and the red and brown pins are connected to the 3.3 volt and the ground pins respectively. And here the pins are connecting to the respective pins of the DHT11 sensor. So now let's go to the Arduino code. So here is the Arduino sketch, which you will find in the video description. So on the top, we are including all the necessary libraries like Wi-Fi, then the PubSub client, then the Adafruit sensor library, the DHT library, and the DHT unified library. Then we define the Wi-Fi SSID and password. Then we define the MQTT IP address and the MQTT port. So if you have not watched my video where we installed the MQTT broker on our computer, please watch it here. So then we have the MQTT topics defined where we are going to publish the messages. Then we define the pin where our DHT11 sensor is connected. We define the sensor type as DHT11 because there are other sensors available in the DHT sensor series. Then we initialize the DHT sensor using the DHT unified library with the DHT pin and the DHT type. Then we define the delay for the readings that we are going to take. Then we create the Wi-Fi and MQTT client. Then we have the connect to Wi-Fi function that we are regularly using our previous codes. So you can watch my previous tutorials where we had subscribed and published the data using ESp32. Then we have the reconnect to MQTT function to reconnect to MQTT connection if it gets broken. Then we have the blink LED function to blink the LED every time we publish something. Next, we have the setup function defined where we initialize the serial communication. We add a 100 millisecond delay. Then we set the pin number 13 to output. We initialize the DHT sensor. We connect to Wi-Fi. Then we set the MQTT server IP address and the port. Then we create a sensor variable of type sensor underscore T. Then we check if we are getting readings from the DHT sensor, and we get the delay from the sensor variable using the minimum delay property, and we divide it by 1000 to convert it to seconds and store it in the delay milliseconds. Then we print that DHT11 sensor initialized using Adafruit Unified Sensor API. Then we have the loop in which we check if the MQTT is connected. If not, we reconnect to MQTT and we run the MQTT loop to keep MQTT client alive. Then we have the static unsigned long variable to store the last published time, and we save the current time using the millis function. Then we check if our current millis minus last published time is greater than the delay millisecond. So it is the minimum delay that we calculated previously. And if it is true, we go here, we set the last published time to the current millis. Then we define the variable of type sensor underscore event underscore t. We define two variables, temperature event and humidity event. Then we get the temperature value in the temp event variable using the get event function, and we get the humidity in the humidity event variable. Then we check if the temp event and the humidity event variables are not null. If they are null, we print that failed to read from DHT sensor and we return, so that we go out of the loop function and we run it again. Then we have the characters defined. So here, basically the MQTT requires the data in the string format. So the readings that we get using this temperature event dot temperature is a float value. So to get the temperature value from this temp event variable, you need to do the dot temperature to get the temperature. And on the humid event variable, you need to do the relative humidity, like dot relative humidity, to get the humidity. So these values, so these two values which I am highlighting, they are basically the float values. So the return type is float. So to convert these float variables to the string type, we are using the d2strf. And here the first argument is the float value. Then the next is the width of the character. The second is the precision. Then this is the array where we will store the string value. Next, we publish this character array to the MQTT messages. So the temperature topic on which we are publishing the temperature string, and on the humidity topic, we are publishing the humidity string. And then we are publishing the values on the serial monitor. And once we publish, we do the blink of the LED. So this is how the complete code works. So now let's go to tools, select your board. So I am selecting my board as ESp32 S3 Dev model. So you can choose according to your board model. And then select the port where your board is connected. So I am selecting this COM6, and then click on compile and upload. So the code is successfully compiled and uploaded. Now open the serial monitor. So here, as you can see, we successfully connected to Wi-Fi, we connected to the MQTT broker, and the message is getting published and we are seeing the values. So to check if these values are getting published correctly, open the command prompt window. Now in the command prompt, we will subscribe to the topics one by one. So type the command mosquito underscore sub to subscribe to the topic, then -h, then localhost. So localhost, because my MQTT broker is running on the same computer. If your MQTT broker is running on another computer, you can put its IP address, then type -t space your topic name, which will be sensor slash EHT11 slash humidity. So cross check if you have typed the topic name correctly and press enter. So you can see the value I'm receiving here. Now open another command prompt window. And here you can type the command mosquito underscore sub -h localhost space -t, then sensor -dht11 temperature, and press enter. And you can see the value is getting published here. Now let me try to put my finger before that DHT11 sensor. Let's see if the temperature reading gets changed a little bit. So as you can see, the temperature reading is getting increased a little bit. because my finger is a little bit warmer and our body temperature is around 35 degrees Celsius. So when I am touching to the sensor is getting warmed up. So the temperature value is getting increased. So for the humidity, I don't have any workaround to increase the value, but I can show you it with the temperature. So as you can see, uh, it is getting increased by some points. So it will increase till around 35 degrees Celsius. So this is how it works. So now I will remove my finger. So if you are seeing this as a steady, you can clear the output to check if it is getting published. So we have successfully written a code to publish the real-time sensor data using the DHT11 sensor to the MQTT topics. So please hit the like button if this video helps you, and please subscribe to my channel if you like to see more such videos. Thank you so much and have a good day.